Welcome to Life Extension Live. I was playing the drums.
Yes,
with
I
the
see.
song.
Air drums.
Yeah, air drums. That's my specialty. Hey, guess what? We're gonna. I'm Dr. Mike. That's Dr.
Crystal.
Great that you could join us today. We have a fabulous show because you know why? We're talking about me.
Not him specifically, men. He's really excited because it seems like women get most of the shine.
It's true. It's true. And now we do know wives, girlfriends, stuff like that do buy a lot of products for men too. So the show isn't just for men.
That's right.
It's maybe for the loved one in your life or the brother or the uncle. You do your brothers, right?
I do. And with Father's Day coming up,
ooh, see,
I buy nutrients for my loved ones, whether they want them or not.
That's great. That's nice. All right. So the big question today is we got some stats coming up, but it turns out as men get older, they do take more nutrients and stuff on a daily routine. The question really is, what's the right nutrients, right? That's really what we want to explore today. And maybe the man in your life, or if men are watching, they don't take any. So hopefully we'll encourage them to start taking some extra nutrients. So on today's show, we're going to talk about why men need certain specific nutrients, and then we got a rundown of what we think or believe are the top ones, right? The top nutrients for men. So let's get right into this and talk about the why, right?
Right.
The why for needing some specific nutrients. What do you feel about filling in that nutritional gap that food is not providing? I think that's a good place to start.
I think it's essential. The reality, even if you're eating a perfect plate, you sit down and everything, you've got the 80-20, 80% vegetables, maybe 20% lean protein.
Yeah.
How often does your plate really look that way? And even if you are, there's still opportunities to fill in the gaps with additional nutrients. The question is there a particular time in life you should fill in those gaps? Should you wait? We say no.
Yeah, no. Start filling in the gaps now. Why? Why wait? And I think you bring up a good point too. Even if people are eating or trying to eat at most meals, the 80-20 rule, which is a great rule to follow, we all need to understand that food is not the same today as it was many years ago. There were studies, I remember this, out of Rutgers University. It was in my book. And I talked about how they found, like I used the tomato as an example. A tomato 100 years ago was much more nutritious than one today. And that includes organic.
Well, very true. And you think about the tomatoes they're not being grown in your backyard.
Right.
So they are being shipped from all over the world, picked early, and then sprayed down late stage to turn red. I mean, that they haven't even had a chance to gain the nutrients that they would need from their environment.
Right. And then, of course, the whole idea, Dr. Crystal, you and I know our life extension, we have some different thoughts about optimal levels too of nutrients. And so even an 80-20 diet, that's great. That we want you to do that. But is that enough of some of those B vitamins? Is it enough of magnesium for those vegetables, right? So it's not just filling in the gap because we're not eating the food. Even if you are, is it the right amount of nutrients?
Very true.
And that's where adding some nutrients into your daily routine can help out a lot.
Yes. So I have a quiz for you, Dr. Mike.
What?
Yes.
What is
stats from the CDC, and I wonder.
Did Hannah do this?
Ha 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 ha. So
right.
Quick quiz, all right. According to the CDC, what percentage of men between 40 and 50 take nutrients? Additional nutrients.
Well, I think the timer. I'm going to go with 33.
The answer was 53.8%.
Okay. I do know that as men get older, right?
Sure.
Oh, thank you. As men get older, they take more. I didn't think it was the 79. I thought that was way too high. It was for me between the, what was it, 58?
53.8.
Yeah, and in the 30. So I was kind of thinking the right way there.
So you were thinking maybe 33%. If I would have guessed, that would have been my guess as well.
Yeah.
So it was a bit higher than I would have expected. Okay, here's another one.
What is going on?
How about
the
percentage of men over 60 that take nutrients?
Over 60?
Over 60.
Okay, so well, I'm going to say it's the highest one because 45 doesn't seem like a high. So, because at that age, they're taking a lot.
Yay! You're right.
50%.
That's
right.
Hey,
in baseball, that's batting 500. That's
over
good.
60. That's when you realize things aren't working like they used to. I better take a little more vitamin C.
Yeah. But let's go back to a big point. Men and women, no matter, once you're at adult age, let's say 18 and above, think about some foundational nutrients, right?
Yeah.
Right. Filling in those gaps. Here's the picture, I guess. Is that from, it looks like
the
that's
official stats, so we didn't make it up. Just in case Dr. Mike thought that his answer was right.
No, I believe that. I believe that. So let's talk, and we're going to cover the foundational nutrients, but I even though this show's more about men and specific nutrients for men later in life and stuff like that, I want to just really hammer in the point is everyone should be taking some good foundational nutrients.
That's your multivitamin.
Yeah,
That's always top on my list.
Fish oil.
Probiotic.
I like CoQ10. I mean, somebody's foundation may be a little different, but those are the types of nutrients that keep us healthy, right? They build healthy humans.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And we do know that we say the probiotic as well.
Yeah, probiotic is there. Yeah.
You said those are our foundation.
Maybe some memory nutrients.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So again, the question now is when should men start foundation stuff immediately like that? But we have some. We broke it down in age, right?
Right.
Men. What about? So what do you have down for men over the age of 30?
So over the age of 30, start thinking about vascular health. Start thinking about cognitive health, as well as sexual support.
Yeah, that's men over 30.
Men
right?
over 30.
Yeah.
Men also need to start thinking about their prostate health. Like 30s, 40s.
Yeah, I think 40s is okay for that.
Yes,
yeah.
Well, they should start thinking about that. But you do find, we'll talk about active men.
Yeah.
Some active men start, getting into the realm of testosterone that starts turning into estrogen. And then there's it all depends on how your level of activity.
But generally speaking, you get so 30s, we got the vascular health, sexual health, cognitive health, that kind of stuff. 40s, add maybe some prostate stuff to that. Even protein for maintaining muscle mass.
Yes.
As you get into your 40s. And if you are active, maybe think of testosterone and some other nutrients. And then, of course, when you get into that more, 50, 60 range, which is where I'm at now. You got.
So what are you thinking about?
Let's see. Liver health has become something I want to focus on. Prostate health is important to me. I've been focused on vascular health for a long time.
Okay.
That hasn't changed. Energy stuff.
Okay.
Like adding not just CoQ10 because that was a foundational, but I've added things like NAD.
Okay.
NAD is helpful for making cellular energy. Because
what about your joints?
I haven't really been bothered by my joints that much. What?
You're so lucky.
I really haven't. That doesn't mean I won't.
I know, but that's impressive.
But I swim more now too, and when I do a lot of, I haven't done the elliptical trainer in a while, but I used to do that. That's low. So I've always done low impact stuff.
Okay, so you've always
I've never been a jogger.
Okay,
I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah. God, that's hard on your joints and stuff like that.
Very true.
Yeah. So I think for me, really, I think I've added liver. Some cognitive stuff. And as I said, more energy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that sound good?
Sounds good, but think about your eyes. I always have to kind of rework his regimen.
I got glasses now, but I never wear them.
That's no good. I hope your eye doctor is watching.
I don't even know where they're at.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. So that's and again, what we're trying to do is fill in the gaps, both nutritionally, energy wise, brain health. I mean, that's what we're trying.
Yes.
What we're trying to do. Okay. So let's go down. Let's break this down by nutrition needs for most men.
Okay.
All right. We already covered the foundation, and we do mention here in our notes multivitamins, fish oil, probiotics, CoQ10, great nutrients. Right. Start there. What about prostate health? Let's go there because that was kind of the next thing we mentioned.
Saw palmetto. That's always kind of a nice prostate supporting nutrient.
Yeah.
It helps to support healthy hormone metabolism, helps to kind of target some of the testosterone that may want to turn into estrogen in the body. So very protective. Something that's not on our notes, but I like boron and lycopene.
Huge. No, I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
You combine, men who are having enlarged prostates, rising PSAs, boron and lycopene in combination together. I think it's like 2 to 4 milligrams of boron, about 20 to 40 milligrams of lycopene has been shown to bring down PSA.
How about that?
Yeah. So you want to add that. A big one that most men have heard of because it's all over commercials is the nutrient beta testosterone. That's a big one. Also really good.
Yes.
So the good news when it comes to protecting your prostate, guys, is normally you'll find all of these in a nice formula.
Very
so
true.
you're not having to do all these separate nutrients.
That's right. And then if you're looking for a late night snack, pumpkin seeds.
There you go. That's really good too. Yeah. All right, and I do love pumpkin seeds. Oh,
they're very good.
It's my favorite thing about Halloween. Oh.
You can have them all the time.
Oh, no, but I like to take them out of the pumpkin fresh. I told you that. I dry them and then I bake them. Come on. Okay. All right. Now, the next group then, and I mentioned this is where I'm at, Dr. Crystal, is muscles and brain. Now, we've included joints in here, but that's not an issue for me.
Right, yes.
But muscle, joints, and brain. Why is vitamin D at the top of this list?
Well, vitamin D is kind of, I look at this vitamin D as the nutrient that is whole body health, but we also know that vitamin D is a hormone.
Yeah.
And hormones can get into the cell and really talk to the DNA and really control what that cell is doing. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's a vitamin D receptor on just about every type of cell.
Yeah.
So you're talking about an easy, cheap nutrient that has an effect on just about every type of cell and tissue in your body.
Yes.
I mean, that's powerful.
And so when you think about the muscle cells, when you think about the brain, I mean, it's just a no-brainer.
It is. As a matter of fact, there have been studies that have shown older men, 40s, 50s, I can't remember the exact age range, but it was something like that, maybe 50s, 60s, when vitamin D levels aren't optimal, when they're a little too low, that led to like muscle wasting. Right?
More hospitalization.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to go on a tangent just real quick.
Your tangents are pretty good, Dr. Mike.
Male or female, it doesn't matter. If you ever go to the hospital, bring a bottle of vitamin D. Study after study have shown that those that have higher levels of vitamin D get out faster.
There you have it.
Boom.
So simple.
Mic drop. I don't have a mic.
Okay.
So now about taking vitamin D, are we going to talk about that? I just wanted to mention.
No, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth the conversation. First, lab testing is always nice.
Lab test. Yeah, it's very simple.
Yeah, simple lab test to find out your 25 OH vitamin D. That's what your doctor's going to test, right? Yeah. And then, but you don't have to test first. You can start your supplementation about 3 months later. Then you can get your testing to know where you are, making sure you're in a nice optimal range.
Right. And on that lab report, what is life extension and 50 to
about 50 to 80
nanograms per mil, right? So that's kind of where you want to be. And listen, I think you should just go ahead and add vitamin D to a yearly. Like everybody gets their cholesterol, everybody gets liver function, all that kind. Just add vitamin D to that.
Yes, and most times you just tell your doctor you're taking it, and then they'll add it to your routine lab test.
So I told you recently because I check it every year. I always do it around my birthday, which is in September, so that's how I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, and that my number came back at 110. Didn't I tell you all
Dr.
this?
Mike, how much vitamin D were you
Well,
taking?
okay. So, and this is an important point. There's in most multivitamins, you're going to have anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 using
right.
units. So, that has to be added to your daily.
That's true.
And then I was doing an additional 5,000 units a day.
Yeah.
So a total of 7,000 units, which I mean, I actually know people that do more than that every day.
Right.
But for me, this is why you should check your levels.
And you spend time in the
sun.
I'm
in the sun a lot, right?
Right.
And so you add all that together, my level went up. So all I did is I stopped the single vitamin D nutrient, the 5,000. I stopped it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Good.
And now I'm only doing that one every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to recheck coming up pretty soon. I was going to 6 months later, so I'm due to
right.
check.
So long story short, definitely check. You don't want your vitamin D to be as high as possible.
Well, what are you trying to? Was that my story too long for you?
No. I think, but it's a nice. I think this is a nice story that even someone who knows, they know the right thing to do and still kind of ended up with it being a little high. So you have to check.
There are lab tests more and more for some of these common nutrients like CoQ10, fish oils, vitamin D. I would just, if you're taking those supplements, why not see where you're at? It's biofeedback. Right? Until you learn from that. So why not add that to your testing? Okay, I think we've hit vitamin D. What about protein at this age group now? Now we're talking about 50s and 60s now.
For sure. Protein should be neck and neck with vitamin D.
Yeah.
Really, because you need to support the health of your muscle mass. That's how you're going to get up out of your chair, right? And so protein protein is essential. Most people aren't getting the amount of protein that they need to jumpstart the protein synthesis in the morning. People, if you're waking up and you're having a carb breakfast, you're not getting that
you're
protein.
Not
your body
that,
is still in kind of a catabolic state from fasting overnight. So you want to think about protein. Also think about branch chain.
That's what I want to take. I wanted to take the conversation to kind of branch chain amino acids. And just an additional idea or thought is a lot of men, right? There's this stereotype that men eat more steak and stuff like that. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But I know there's a lot of guys out there, they think they're getting enough protein, but it may not be the best protein.
Right.
May not be the higher quality. So protein supplementation is another great way to fill in that gap. And so a simple whey protein shake or something.
I agree because the amount of protein that you kind of want at any given meal, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, really my rule is about 30 grams with that meal. If you have a couple of eggs, you're not there. That's about 12 grams. If you're thinking at 6 grams per egg, I mean, you have to sit and really count and be intentional with getting the food in order to get the amount of food, that combination, to get the amount that you need, that 30 grams at that meal.
I think we could also mention protein supplementation is great for even younger guys that are maybe exercising a lot, that kind of stuff. But as you get older, you mentioned the branch chain amino acid.
Yes, so that's key. Leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And just a reminder, amino acids are the building blocks a protein, but these particular amino acids,
these are the power horses.
These are the ones where they get into your body, they go straight to work.
One of the issues when you take protein supplementation or amino acid nutrients, they go through the liver, and the liver likes to slow things down and plays around and make sure it's all safe. Well, the branch chain ones get right to the muscle, and they go right to work, and they are related to energy in the muscle as well.
Yes, that's right.
So branch chain amino acids, I have not added that, but that's probably coming up as I move through the 50s a little bit. Yeah, for sure. What about, we also have talked about magnesium threonate. Why do we like that so much, and why should men in my age group start taking that?
Yes, it's a form of magnesium that's able to get into the brain to have a positive effect on memory, even mood. There's some new research now with mood, as well as helping with just more neuronal connections, more of those connections. So faster speed, processing, That's kind of
memory,
what you want
everything comes
right.
back. Yeah, I like the way you did that, right? Because
Yeah.
that's if this hand is a neuron and this is a neuron, the ends of them, they're called synapses.
Yes.
You know, they touch, and this is how they talk. They call this the highway.
Yes.
And so it's not just about protecting one brain cell and keeping that brain cell healthy. It's also about protecting those connections.
And the neural, right, those neuronal connections, magnesium L-threonate helps to build out more. Like, you know, I only have 10
look,
fingers
Magnesium
here.
Threonate does
now
this.
we're getting more.
That's great. Yeah. Well, and that was one of the nutrients that I've added since getting to my 50s.
Okay.
Yeah, magnesium threonate. And real quick, you could take a magnesium threonate. Some people will then ask, well, what about my general magnesium product for bone and stuff? You can in most cases take both, and that's fine because the magnesium threonate doesn't affect the stomach and stuff as much, right? Okay. And then we've listed curcumin as a nutrient. Why are we putting that down?
Because it's amazing. It helps with whole body health, helps to target inflammation, helps to support brain health, helps to, I mean, it's just, it's one of those nutrients that it's an antioxidant.
Yeah.
So helps to fight free radicals in
the
body.
Tell you, I think it could be a foundational one too. I mean, you could add, that's how, you know, we could say for foundational nutrients, multi-fish, CoQ10, probiotics, curcumin. You could throw that one in there. Yeah. But you don't want to add too many things to the foundation because then it dilutes it.
Right.
Right. So,
exactly.
But curcumin's close.
Okay. So just to go back, muscle, joint, brain, give us your top one.
In that whole list, vitamin D.
Okay.
That was pretty, but I am excited about branched chain amino acids coming up for me.
All right. So those are, I like that. So vitamin D, branched chain amino acid, just in case you're kind of getting overwhelmed with our list. If you need to focus in on a couple.
It's I think in your 50s, men in their 50s, muscle, throw some prostate.
Yeah.
Vitamin D is great. Branched chain amino acids are great for the muscle. And then we mentioned some of those nutrients for prostate. Yeah. That's probably a good way to probably summarize all that up. And if your joints hurt, it's never ending.
Curcumin.
It's never. Oh, curcumin is great for that.
Back to that, one of the originals on the list.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to active men. And we're not, I don't think we didn't break this part down really by age, right? We're just saying 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. Yeah. Active men, what do you think? What should
protein? It goes back to protein.
Yeah.
Or my husband calls it protein.
Of course, Blake does.
And now he calls you just like, yeah, I see you need protein. So now that's what the kids say. But it's so important when you think about preserving your muscle mass and making sure if you are active, and we're not talking about being in the gym. So that was a joke with the protein. We're talking if you golf. If you swim.
Play tennis.
Exactly.
What's that new one they play? The shorter tennis game? What is it called?
I don't know. But it's all over the place. Not racquetball.
No, whatever.
Shuffleball.
No, we gotta move on. Do you know what it is, Robson, Hannah? What?
It's not squash.
Oh gosh, squash. What are you, 80? All right. So protein. One thing I wanted to mention. We mentioned a good whey protein's fine. Branched chain amino acids, but then don't forget creatine. Oh, that actually has the most studies in showing muscle strength, muscle gain than any other protein study.
Right. So I always suggest adding in protein powder. That's the best way.
And it turns out, just some information, males over the age of 14 have higher protein requirements than women. And you're the specialist right here when it comes to nutrition. Is that consistent throughout our lives? Meaning, do men overall require more protein than women?
You typically see that, yes, because men overall will typically have more lean tissue that they're needing to support.
Yeah, and so if you're really active, exercise breaks down muscle, and then you're supposed to repair it, and that's where you get the building.
Yes,
right.
It repairs stronger.
It repairs stronger. And so if you're active and you're breaking up some of your muscle fibers, which is great, but if you're not doing enough protein and some other nutrients to finish the job,
right,
you may not be getting as much out of your workout as you think.
That's right.
Turns out Can I say this one?
Yes.
One study found that a majority of, now these are endurance athletes,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure, I mean, that's probably, your bikers, the big time runners, stuff like that.
Right. Or the people who are doing their corporate 5K.
Corporate 5K.
Right.
Failed, this is what they found. They failed to consume the recommended amount. Now, recommended amount is not even close to what we usually recommend. Keep that in mind.
It's like 0.8 grams per kilogram.
Not enough omegas, fiber. Oh, there's yours. Vitamins, B vitamins, vitamin D, E, K. Oh my gosh, it goes on.
Yeah.
Chromium, magnesium, I mean, it's just huge.
Glenn, I saw it.
What?
Someone told us it's pickleball.
Pickleball.
Glenn,
There it is.
That's the game. That's the new up and coming. I guess it's not up and coming.
It's been
anymore.
around for a while, apparently.
But it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn.
All right. And basically, out of that group, protein needs were not met by 25% of the men.
Wow.
And so again, you're taking time out of your day.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the right stuff, exercising.
Mm-hmm.
You're being active, and that's all fantastic. But you got to finish the job. Nutrition is key.
That's right, Dr. Mike.
That was pretty good. That was good.
I'm telling you, I dropped a tear
Oh.
almost.
She is totally kidding. Trust me. Let's move on to another big one for man.
Yes.
Sex health. Woo!
It's it's one of those things that the women usually talk about. You do know this, right? The men won't ask about it, but it's the women in their lives.
Yeah. A funny story, right? You remember I used to do a bunch of lectures, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to go all over the United States doing lectures, even here in Florida. And it didn't matter what the topic was.
Mm-hmm.
I could be literally talking about skin. And usually a woman in the audience, when it came to Q&A, would ask about ED, erectile dysfunction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely something that comes up. We do know it relates to cardiovascular health.
Yeah.
So as the arteries start getting clogged, you're not getting as much blood flow throughout the body. It can affect blood flow everywhere. And one nutrient that I love to suggest is arginine.
Yeah. Arginine is where you want to start because it's the precursor. I don't know. It helps in the development of nitric oxide.
Yes.
We have to be. It is a precursor.
Yes.
But there's other ways the body can do nitric oxide. So
Right.
yeah, it's a little more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But arginine is that amino acid that is doing that.
Yes, and then the nitric oxide is what's helping those blood vessels to kind of respond and helping with that blood flow.
Here's another great combination: arginine plus pycnogenol.
Oh,
Pine bark
yes.
extract actually gave a better effect. What was it? Do you have it there? When
Let
you
me
want to say that
see.
study? The last.
Oh, yes. In a human study, 3 months of supplementation with arginine combined with pycnogenol, which is pine bark, resulted in restoration of sexual ability in 92.5% of men with erectile dysfunction. I will repeat that.
Yeah.
3 months,
3 months.
arginine plus pine bark, pycnogenol, 92.5% of men.
Yeah. And these are natural, good for you nutrients.
Yes.
Right? This isn't crazy pill stuff and whatever.
No.
Natural. As a matter of fact, both of them, arginine and pycnogenol, they do other good things for you in your body.
I know.
Yeah. I mean,
I take pycnogenol.
There's pycnogenol has some good longevity research with it now as a longevity nutrient. So there you go. Now, wrapping this up, because that was a lot. We've gone over a lot of nutrients for you. Got the foundation. We talked about D and the prostate and brain and all that. Active men, sexual health. Don't forget, we post this whole thing after the live for like a week, so you can go back and watch.
That's right.
And take your notes. But there is an elephant in the room.
Yes. Testosterone.
Testosterone. What are we going to do here?
Well, first thing you're going to do is get tested. Plain and simple. Know your numbers, know where you are, know what your testosterone levels are, and then you can create a game plan working with your doctor.
Yeah, for sure. And again, there's standard kind of levels of testosterone for men at certain ages, right? Like they'll say it between 20 and 30, your Maybe your total testosterone is around 800s. I don't remember the exact numbers. Keep in mind, though, as you get into your 50s and 60s, that number that is acceptable drops. It keeps getting lower and lower and lower. I don't like that.
Right. So we call it age adjusted.
Yeah. I don't want testosterone level of a 60-year-old. I want it back when I was 28, 29, 30.
Right.
So that's the number I look at, and that's my target. Now, some people might be, oh, if that's too much at your age, you might hurt your prostate. None of that has actually ever been proven.
That is very true, Dr. Mike, and I'm happy you brought that up. And so you have to have a conversation with your doctor. You may have to bring in some resources and handouts and be prepared for the discussion. Although it is more accepted now, where doctors are kind of thinking about supporting testosterone, because it's more than just about sexual health, Dr. Mike.
Right.
Testosterone is great for mental health, preserving muscle mass. It helps with blood sugar levels. And so many other things in the body.
Yes, and an easy way to think about it is hormones in your body. They're kind of the bridge or the messenger between what your brain wants to do and what your body needs to do. Hormones carry those messages. Build muscle, slow down on sugar production. All of those messages that come from here are sent out in these hormones. And if your hormone levels like testosterone are low, your brain can't talk to the body. And guess what? Things kind of start to break down a little bit. Right?
That's very true. Absolutely.
Now, if you're going to do testosterone, bioidentical.
Yeah.
There's creams now, patches. There's ways that when
even pellets.
Yeah, when I first started doing all this, the bioidentical forms were not as available as they are today. So that's good. But what about people who don't want to take testosterone? And that's fine, but they still want to boost it.
Yeah, there are lots of nutrients that can be helpful. Black ginger in particular is one. Pomegranate and cacao in a combination has some really good research. Actually, we do have a study, supplementation with pomegranate peel extract and cacao seed extract, along with luteolin, which is an antioxidant, has been found to increase free testosterone in aging men as much as 48%.
Yeah, and that brings up another point. So there's total and free.
Yeah.
Right. So when you get your lab test, you're going to see total and free. Free is just what's available to the tissue. Sometimes total can get locked up in other things, whatever. So free is really kind of that key number. Yeah. But I go back to my original statement. I want a free testosterone level, not of a 60-year-old. 28-year-old.
Absolutely. 28. That's his number.
I'm stuck on 28. I have no idea why I chose 28.
I don't know. Maybe that was just a great time in your life.
Listen, maybe it was. Maybe I'm reminiscing. I don't know. But those are the levels you want. Yeah. And again, you're going to have a conversation with your doctor. And then, of course, you can also do another hormone that's over the counter, DHEA.
Oh, yes. DHEA turns into testosterone because
and has some of its own benefits too.
Right. And I guess we didn't clarify that testosterone is a prescription.
Yeah.
Actual testosterone. So that's why we keep saying have a conversation with your doctor, because you will need a prescription. But DHEA,
that's over the counter.
Over the counter.
Yeah, and it will turn into testosterone. But DHEA offers benefits to muscle, immune. A lot of immune stuff with DHEA coming out.
But don't buy it over the counter without testing. I have to go back to that, because DHEA can turn into testosterone and estrogen. You want to make sure it's going down the right path.
Yeah, so, testing vitamin D, testing your hormones on a yearly basis. Again, it's biofeedback. It's giving you the result of your efforts, and it can help. Maybe you need a little more. Maybe you can do a little less. Maybe you can skip it, whatever. Yeah. That's essentially feedback. Good biofeedback, right?
Yes.
We mentioned when it comes to testosterone, the best thing is to find a place that just does like a total profile. So don't just isolate testosterone, right? You might as well just do the whole gamut.
And so, so that means testosterone, total testosterone, free testosterone, test the DHEA if you're going to be taking DHEA, test the estrogen.
And there are profiles that do all of that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like you have to pick. You just do a profile, get it all tested, and just do that once a year. And that way, again, good biofeedback. Wow.
Okay,
Woo!
man.
That was a lot of
Well,
stuff.
you asked for it, and so we gave it to you.
A lot of good stuff. We have, there's more information and just other good resources that you can go to at lifeextension.com/wellness. That's lifeextension.com/wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you for watching today. Listen, you can go back and watch this. You can share this.
Please.
Give us more comments, what you think. Maybe we missed some of your favorite nutrients for men. Maybe there were ones in there you didn't really even hear of. Like, let us know those kind of things, and go ahead and share that with your family members, the men in your life, the boys in your life. So don't forget, we also go live every Wednesday at
12 noon.
12 noon Eastern time. Let me do that again. Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern time. We'll be right here. Please join us. I'm Dr. Mike. That's
Dr. Crystal.
We'll see you next time.